There are armies that will come from the north, that will go down into the nation of God, in the Israel, and they will fight against the nation of God. So, jwalo ka re bua tjena, hantle Russia e batla ho lwantsha Israel, because the leader, Russia, is a Muslim. And all the Muslim countries, Iraq, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Russia, then Betlaka, Africa, Kamona, places like Saudi Arabia, Sudan, Ethiopia, Nigeria ka tlase makulu, bo Egypt, bo Tunisia, bo Morocco. They are going to come against Israel as we speak. Why it will affect you? It's going to affect you. Until affect but it's going to affect you even more. It is because today, they no longer discern the times and the seasons. That's why
okay. We need to pray for the defense force, Israel. Ne? We pray for Israel this coming year. We are going to pray for the defense force, Israel. Amen.
New York, it's coming up on nightfall in Israel, and this is the latest we're learning after this barrage of rockets came from southern Lebanon into northern Israel. Look at that brilliant blue sky there as they just streak across the air. Here's what we know. 34 rockets fired into northern Israel. 25 were intercepted by the Iron Dome system. That's impressive.
Very.
5, however, Dana, hit Israeli territory. Some damage and unknown number of injuries. We're looking for updates on that. 4 still looking for impact from the rockets. So they may have fallen short. We don't know. Israeli officials believe the rockets were fired by Palestinian factions in Lebanon. That's important because they do not believe it was headed up by Hezbollah, which is backed by Iran. Now, they've had trouble with Gaza over the past 2 weeks, okay? So that trouble continues. In the meantime, Iran itself, Dana, they're doing peace deals with Saudi Arabia. They're doing peace deals with the United Arab Emirates. They're a real force in this sector, along with Saudi in the Middle East, along with Saudi Arabia.
And Iran is being helped by China.
Yeah, and the fact that the Israelis say that this is Hamas in southern Lebanon could be significant, which might suggest the fears of a wider conflict may not happen.
Can I ask you about that?
Don't know just yet, very early.
Based on your experience and having been there and covered the war in 2006, it's about, what, 4:30, 5:30 in the afternoon there now. In your experience, do things get worse after dark, or does it calm down?
Yeah, it's a good question right now because the war was 17 years ago. And what happened during that war that was headed up by Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, what they had was what's called a Katyusha rocket. Katyusha rocket's very, it's low grade. You could be in your house in southern Lebanon, run out in your driveway, light this sucker, fire it into Israel. It had no GPS guidance system on it, so we could go anywhere. But we're 17 years removed from that.
Right.
And the big fear in Israel is that if you give a 17-year advantage, what sort of technology could then you attach to these rockets today? And that's the concern.
So breaking news from there, we will...
Okay. We need to pray for the defense force, Israel. Ne? We pray for Israel this coming year.
Significant development. What we know is that at least 2 salvos of rockets were fired out of southern Lebanon into the Galilee region in northern Israel, and air raid sirens were sounded as a result. We believe this was dozens of missiles, the exact number not yet known. Some of those were intercepted by Israel's Iron Dome missile defense system. Some, though, did land, causing damage. There's been reports of a couple of injuries, although those reports say that the injuries are pretty minor from what we're hearing so far, at least. Now, there have been reports that the Israelis have already started responding using artillery fire, and there's a heavy presence of Israeli jets up on the northern border, but we're yet to get more detail on that. So why might this have happened? Why might this new front be opening up? Well, almost certainly it has got something to do with what has been happening at the Al-Aqsa compound over the last couple of days, when Israeli forces have gone in to remove Palestinian worshippers, and that's caused uproar around the Muslim world. I think there is potentially another factor in it, and that is that Israel has been carrying out a series of airstrikes against targets over the border in neighbouring Syria in recent days, and of course you do have a commonality between the various groups there. Who's behind it? Well, maybe Palestinian factions in southern Lebanon, but they will not have acted without at least the knowledge, if not even the tacit approval, of Hezbollah, who control southern Lebanon. And it does raise the spectre of a potential very dangerous new front in this if Hezbollah and Israel do come to blows and it escalates.
Okay. We need to pray for the defense force, Israel. Ne? We pray for Israel this coming year.
And welcome. Our top focus at this hour: 6 rockets have been launched by Syria towards Israel. 3 were Saturday night, while 3 more within hours, according to Israeli military. The army has said that it was retaliating with artillery strikes on the areas in Syria from where rockets were fired. Now, according to Israeli defense forces, in the first attack, 3 rockets were fired, of which 1 crossed the border and landed in an open area near the northern Israeli town of Mitzah. Fragments of another destroyed missile fell into Jordanian territory near the Syrian border. According to Jordans, hours later, in the second barrage, 2 of the rockets crossed the border into Israel, with 1 being intercepted and the second landing in an open area. There are no reports of casualties.